Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Real Estate on Tap.
Second time.
Wednesday at 7 o'clock, we are talking about basically what has happened the last couple days with the storms, the flooding. A lot of showings I've been on lately, water in the basement, seepage issues. So we thought we'd just take a moment and talk a little bit about what we're seeing, some little couple tips and tricks as far as how to keep your basement dry. Without further ado, do you want to talk about the first one there?
A couple of things definitely is check your sub pump. You want to make sure that your sub pump is working properly. Make sure that if it's older, you don't know the age, definitely look into that. Make sure you have something on the backup in case it does go out.
Yeah, a lot of times it's not basically age. A lot of them aren't marked with a serial number that you can actually look up the age, but it goes by revolutions. So each time the sump
Each
pump
time it
actually
kicks in.
kicks in, and whether it may look old or you hear it running a lot, it probably is time to maybe think about getting a new one, and even upping the horsepower on that. So just as you look at that, and a lot of times too, some are pedestal sump pumps, some are we call float pumps, and making sure that that float is set up where the the sump pump itself actually
Right.
kicks on before your drain tiles are submerged.
Right.
Because what happens is water likes to stay inside that drain tile, and if it does stay in drain tile, water's like electricity, finds a path of least resistance, and will come out your basement floor, up the cracks, and things like that. So
Clearly, you don't want.
no, having that pump, again, set up properly too. And if you don't know what you're doing, hire a plumber. Some of this is pretty self-explanatory, and I say that simply with a YouTube video, and you can find that how to actually, basically put it in there and put it together and plug it in.
One of the ways that you can definitely test it is pour a bucket of water down there and make sure it's kicking in. You definitely want it to kick in.
Yeah. So if you think, well, my sump pump never runs, that's sometimes they actually seize because they don't run. So testing that, every couple months, throwing a bucket of
Yeah.
water in there. I know a lot of people also have the radon systems.
Yep, where your sub pump is sealed.
Yep, sump pump will be sealed, where again it's to create a vacuum for the radon system. So either if it is sealed, silicone is typically what you want to use because you can easily pull that out or off to gain access to that cover, or put yourself a hole in that cover. Can be used
Access
with
point.
access point can be used done with PVC. I've seen wood ones, just so you're creating that vacuum for the radon system if that's what you have there. But being able to again dump a bucket of water in there is really going to help out. So those are some tips with the sump pump, and again it's a crucial part of your home, and making sure again that you don't get any water in the basement, especially again the last couple days we've had a lot of rain and the ground is very saturated. Our sump pumps have been running quite a bit.
Quite a bit. Yep, definitely.
Um,
Go ahead.
how to keep a dry basement. If you don't have a sump pump and maybe you have a Palmer system, a spider web system, a Palmer valve per se, if you don't have any drain tile, things you want to pay attention to right now. Yeah, fall's done, but you may have leaves in your gutters. Leaves in your gutters, for our instance, a ball in your gutter from, per se, your child throwing it over the roof. Things get in there, they clog up the gutter, and the gutter overflows. So making sure those are free flowing. Downspouts.
Downspouts, yep, definitely. As Kevin said, gutters, we had an early snowfall this year, so you may not have gotten the chance to clean out those leaves. It's never too late to clean out those leaves, so make sure you're doing that even now. Downspouts, same thing. Animals like to build things, so make sure you've got nothing in there and making sure that they're clear of all water. Another big one is grading. You make sure you've got the proper slope on your grading around all sides of your property, because if it's flat, where's water going to go? It's going to go down, which you obviously don't want it to go down.
Yep. So grading, downspouts, and gutters are the rules that any foundation specialist will tell you. how to keep your basement dry. And again, having your downspouts, at least a minimum, they say, of 10 feet away. Can't always do that, but you can always bury them if it's got to go under a walking path or something of that sorts. But those are your three top things you need to do to save your basement, not only from structural issues, but again, keeping water out of your
Water
basement.
out of your basement.
Yep.
That's the one biggest turnoff for buyers nowadays is signs of water in your basement.
Well, and I think a lot is because we do have a long winter season and we are cooped up in the house, and what an awesome space to be able to use, which is a Wisconsin basement, for a movie theater, for a kid's playroom,
Right.
for a bar.
Bar.
Yep, there you go. So again, that's, people are looking at that. It's a great time to be looking at homes if you're a buyer, because you're going to find out a lot if that basement is definitely waterproof or not.
Yep, definitely.
And again, we've seen a lot of basements, myself just recently, downspouts not put on properly, or not connected properly, or the gutters are overflowing, that you're actually seeing signs of moisture and moisture penetration in the walls itself.
Gutters not extended out properly. It was definitely a bigger one as well.
Yep. Viewers, if you want to answer any answer anything as
Ask
far as
any
questions you have about real estate transactions, what we're seeing out there as far as the marketplace goes.
There's the dog.
Chance wants to come on in here and say hi. We're always we're here to answer those questions. And I know we're on a live platform, but we can see your comments. So if you do want to comment in, please do. The other thing that I do want to talk about, I got a call this morning from a past client, pretty much a 2-year-old home in that Lisbon, Sussex area that really got nailed by the storms yesterday. 2-year-old house, the entire...
Sorry.
It's live.
Sorry.
And he doesn't want to go outside. 2-year-old house, pelted with golf ball size hail, completely destroyed his siding in the back, cracked one of his windows. I bring this up because of insurance, and he had told me that he actually was trying to save some money on insurance and raised his deductible. They do have options to have a $1,000 home deductible, anywhere from $5,000 home deductible. I'm sure they go higher, and I'm sure they go lower in that respects, but again, with we all want to try to save some money, and he ended up going to the $5,000 deductible. Well, he was asking me basically what I kind of thought as far as what replacement of his vinyl siding to take it all down and put up new stuff. So I kind of rough estimated it, based upon my memory of what the house looked like in the pictures and so on and so forth. But he said he tried to call 5 different companies this morning and got 0 answers. Again, we do have, people that we can definitely refer to you. And actually I referred your nephew Jeremy.
My nephew Jeremy, yes.
Because a lot of exterior
business person.
Yep.
Absolutely. So if you have those items that you're not wanting to do yourself, please let me know. I will give you his contact information. He has references galore. He's licensed. He's insured. He's ready to rock. So.
But just, so he actually got out there today. I was told, and while he was out there and the neighbors are all looking, seeing somebody actually show up, he looked at a few different places. Again, having the references, we're happy to give you people that we trust and refer and who have done, work on our own property. But going back to that story too, basically added it all up and $5,000 deductible, and so his place that got flipped over, that was about $2,000. His patio umbrella was about I think $700 to $1,000. So it's like, do you make that insurance claim for $2,000? And I said, well, the thing you're not thinking about right now is the roof. I know it's only 2 years old, but if you got golf ball size hail,
Yeah.
that smashed into the roof. He already said that he was looking at his mushroom vents, as I call them, instead of a ridge vent, but the mushroom vent was all dented up that he could see, from the ground. So I said, I definitely before you even start thinking about making a claim, get all your all your pieces of the puzzle items together.
Yeah, make a list.
Yes, and then figure out if it's worth making a claim for the insurance or not. Because that roof, in my eyes, is probably going to be somewhere around $18,000 to $20,000, if not a little bit more.
Depending on the size.
Yep, depending on the size of shingle and so on and so forth. But again, have an expert come check that out first before you just, think about it later, because there is a timeline, that we need to use in Wisconsin as far as, I think it's a year, for hail damage. But you want to talk to your insurance company about that. And their dog's being whiny right now.
Yeah, if you guys haven't gotten already, my dog is really whiny. Excuse me.
So yeah, insurance, and then you got to be really, right now careful. We have a bunch of storm chasers headed to Wisconsin right now. And what I mean by storm chasers is that they are outside of the area companies, basically looking for work, basically subcontracting that out, having you sign forms that says you're going to work specifically with me and I'm going to work with their insurance company. But you're going to find storm chasers, and
They're going to promise you the world and not deliver, that's for sure.
yeah, when you sublet to another company, you really don't know who's doing the work at the end of the day. But if they are legitimate companies, you can do your due diligence. We have a Better Business Bureau.
Yep.
We have the internet that can, look at their references, referrals, ratings, and I think that we all do a lot of that, a lot more, and look at the reviews of whether it be a product or a company or whatnot before we decide to go with them. But that's, again, one thing that you want to definitely check out. I actually got a good laugh this morning. One of the gentlemen I know, who's actually a roofer, had put out there and said, if you really want to figure out if that sales agent's from local, they're from Wisconsin, ask them to repeat your address to them. We have a lot of Indian names, Miguanago, Waukesha, Oconomowoc. They're not going to know how to say those town names, those villages names. So that's an easy test. If you know those guys local or not, that you can find out. Say, hey, what's my address? Say it in full. People have a problem with Wisconsin. So,
Yeah.
again, you're going to find out if they're local or not, and whether they're going to sub your work out. So be careful out there, and you don't need to make that rash decision that it must be done now. Get a couple quotes out there, find out who's going to do you right, and that you get a good product ultimately, and a good installation on whatever may be damaged from the storm.
And feel free to call us, because we have a lot of references, like we said, and you want to bounce ideas off of us, feel free to do that as well. We're here for you, for your questions and concerns. Kevin's getting stuck here.
Thanks, Justin, for the comment. Yes, these are the things that people, necessarily don't do every day, and we're just highlighting some of these things as I understand we're supposed to be getting another storm tonight.
I did not know
More
that.
rain. So, again, you got time right now.
Get out there and make sure things are cleared out. I mean, it is getting a little dark, but
Yeah, for people that, a lot of people I know had power losses also.
major power losses.
And, they do sell battery backups for your sump pump. It's good if you're got a power loss for a short period of time. It's not going to last you a day or two, especially if that sump pump's running constantly. So things you may want to think about, having a plug-in generator. Good thing is that if you're home, you can plug it in, runs off of gas, run a lot of your refrigerators, freezers, might have game meat in there, some expensive items in the sense of seafood or whatever it may be, but that
We are
refrigerator.
talking from experience. We
Could-
lost 2 freezer fulls of meat one year.
Yes, could go out on you. So that portable generator is nice. You can get an outlet, run it outside, plug it right into your electrical panel, and have a transfer switch where you can run. Basically, you tell the electrician, I want my furnace to run, I want my microwave to run, I want my refrigerators and deep freezers to run. That way, again, those things are running, and for us, it's a well.
Yeah.
Water power goes out, the well doesn't run like people with municipal water. So, those are the things that
Definitely want
we wanted to
those.
hook up. Or if you travel a lot, or basically want that peace of mind where I'm not relying on family, friends, or a neighbor to plug in a generator and make sure it's running, a whole home generator. Basically, those are automatic kick-ons that once they trigger the power goes off, it triggers the generators start up. They work off of natural gas. and then they run and power your home. And those are made, well, a couple companies make them, but
Generac.
Generac is our local company here in southeastern Wisconsin, so I always like to support our local companies, but Generac's one of them. We also have, what's the other one with the H I'm thinking of? Honeywell. Honeywell, and believe it or not, a lot of those components inside of those Honeywell generators are actually Generac. So again, either way, you're still supporting Generac. But again, about a 9.2 kilowatt system runs basically your house minus a few other things. If you want AC, again, you got to get a larger one. But those were roughly a little more than $10,000 to have installed. So again, if that's something you want just for peace of mind, they're costly. Generators at Costco, Harbor Freight, your big Menards, Home Depot. You can get a decent sized generator that's going to run a good majority of your stuff. And again, just even to plug in your refrigerators and your sump pump, you can get those for $900 under $1,000. So, again, a couple different options out there for your needs. And I know, unfortunately, like I said, a lot of people were in that boat, and even on Facebook, some of the pages, hey, we need a generator. Anybody get a generator? Well, it's 5 hours ago. So, it's unfortunate, but again, being prepared as a homeowner can save you not only an insurance claim, but a big headache and hassle. Insurance in general, make sure your policy's up to date.
Yes. Oh, most definitely. Yeah. Last thing you want is something to happen and you don't have proper insurance on it. And then you're really in trouble.
Yeah, there's some of the riders they offer for sewer backup.
Or if you have that finished basement.
Yep, if you have that finished basement, or you did an addition to the house and or a kitchen remodel, it may be worth checking in and talking to your insurance agent and looking at what they're going to cover for your policy and what the rebuild cost in your house is. If you haven't looked at it in a while, again, prices and construction costs have gone up, so you want to make sure you're covered. Mm-hmm. Hopefully we can maybe get an insurance guy or gal to join us here, and if you had any questions on that, we can definitely add those in there.
Yeah, we're definitely open to ideas. If people have ideas that they want us to discuss, let us know. I mean, if we don't know, we'll definitely do our research and find out for you.
Yep. Happy tax day too, by the way.
Oh yeah, April 15th.
Anybody's got the great way to either pay or hopefully, again, they say refunds, getting back what the government owes you. But it's tax day, so make sure you pay today, because, it's a patriotic way.
Yeah. Cheers.
Mm-hmm.
Comments, questions from anybody?
If anybody's got any questions, again, chime in. You got you had some appraisal problems this past week, and it sounds like you got some of those worked out.
Yeah, that was a very interesting deal that I just dealt with, that's for sure. Yeah.
Every day is a fun day.
Yeah, you learn something new, things that you were like, what? You can do that? And apparently you can. So, but we finally got it all figured out, and we're going to the closing table, which is always the best thing for all parties involved.
So wait, you can appraise your old home from 2 years ago?
Yeah.
And use it as a comp, I should say?
Who would have thought? Yeah. And give it more of a value than what you're giving.
That's how that turned out?
You can do it. Yeah, you can do that. That's legal. That's legal.
Wow.
That could be a whole nother live, that's for sure.
So we'll give you the short end of the story. Head appraisal came back low. Well, why don't you tell us?
Didn't like any of the appraisal. Just kind of tore it apart, and digging through the appraisal, the sellers purchased the property about 2.5 years ago. This appraiser used the same home for an appraisal now and gave it a higher value now than what he actually gave the entire appraisal for. And apparently you can do that.
How does that work?
Yeah.
That's
I fought it for a good week, and there was no way around it. Apparently that's just something that you can do. So again, you learn something new every day in this industry.
Yep.
It's not always the way you want it to go, but you just figure it out and you deal with it. But we ended up coming to terms, and we are going to the closing table, thankfully, for all parties involved.
Good, good.
Yep.
Yeah, I learned one too yesterday myself.
Oh, yeah.
Not appraisal issue, but learning
Septic.
septics. Yep. You know, buyer to pay for it, seller to pay for it. Okay, they're going to pay for the inspection. Little did I know, and we don't run into this a lot, but little did I know that they don't pay. The seller has to pay for the pumping. So the buyer says they're going to pay for the testing. The testing's to be done by pumping the system. 19 years of doing this, I don't think I've ever had a buyer say, "Yeah, we'll pay for the septic." Well, I thought it was going to be the pumping was paid for too. It's a separate deal. Seller actually pays for it, so you know, it's my mistake. I learned from it. I'll eat it, and I'm going to eat it. And
We do stand up for our mistakes.
we're not perfect by any means, but yeah. So I'll eat it, and we'll take care of the pumping for the seller. But it's something that again I learned that it's just like, well, the well test is this way, the water test is this way, septic. You think the buyer just pays for it all when they say they're going to pay for it all? Not the case.
Yeah.
And I kind of sort of understand after I talked to a few people up in higher ups from the GMAR of what was thinking of this when they did the addenda A, but it still kind of mind boggles me. You know, I get it and understand it. Buyer gets to pick their own inspector, but why we need to have two separate bills for it, and why the seller to be responsible for pumping when it's part of the inspection. So I don't get it really. I mean, so. It is what it is, though.
It's
It's like the laws. I don't write them. So, but.
Somebody was sued for something, and that's why we have it this way now.
Yes, lawyers. We love you, lawyers.
Yeah.
We love you. Yeah. I don't know if again anybody's got anything to chime in on. Be happy to give you some feedback. Anybody got any questions? We can see you. Write some comments down. We're happy to answer them.
I just want to mention that everybody that loved my Avengers shirt last week, Kevin said I can't wear it 2 weeks in a row, so maybe I'll bring it back next week.
Because you don't have a thousand other clothes.
I love the Avengers.
She did get some comments on the Avengers shirt. Just like, oh, all right, professional.
Yeah,
we keep it real.
Before we started it, he said, "That's what you're wearing," and I was like, "Yeah, why not?"
Well, it is Real Sit on Tap.
Drinking a drink.
It is Real Sit on Tap, so. We're just trying to keep it real for everybody and be approachable in a sense of just tell you what.
We're real people.
Real people and basically not dancing around on TikTok. So
Yeah.
that's okay. I'm all right with that.
Any other questions out there? No?
Well, I don't know about you guys. We were in the basement last night as sirens were running
Very
off,
scary
and
last night.
So hopefully we're done with the scary weather. You guys stay safe out there. If nobody else has got any comments, what's that?
Butterfly over my head.
Oh, well, yes, you do have a butterfly over your head.
I
I hear the
thundering
thunder,
right now.
and here comes the thunder as we speak. So, guys, stay safe out there. Again, if we can help you with any of your real estate needs,
Please reach out to
need any
us.
referrals for anybody, we are here for you guys and happy to answer. With that said, thank you for joining us on our second Real Sit on Tap, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Have a great
Have
day.
a great night, guys.
Thanks.